What is up, guys? Silver Warrior here. In this one, I just wanted to kind of address something that I thought was very important to discuss with you guys, and it's just kind of like disproving the thought process that basically silver stacking should be linear. And when a lot of people invest, and not just in silver but in any precious metal, that's what they seem to think is that when you're stacking, it should just be very linear. They set very linear, strict goals for themselves, as opposed to having flexible goals. And I try to, explain to people all the time that really, no, that's not the way that precious metal investing works, especially silver stacking, because of the sheer amount of diversity and different coins you can be picking up, as well as the fact that with any metal or any investment in general, your budget is going to vary from month to month, assuming that you're just, a normal person who's trying to, make a fair amount of money each year and store away some, real tangible currency on the side. So, that being said, you know, you probably never thought to yourself, oh, yeah, silver stacking is so linear, right? Because that's not the terminology that you'd probably use when thinking to yourself, but you probably have thought one of the many things that, basically relate to that whole thought process, such as, the thought that silver stacking is, like I was saying before, you should have very rigid goals, and you should just be like, all right, I should pick up this, X amount of ounces each month, when in truth, you are not going to be able to do that. Or you may have thought to yourself, I want to spend X amount on silver each month. I mean, it's really a similar type of thing, but it's that goal setting where, like, I want to do this amount when it comes to silver every single month, when you don't realize that your budget is going to change from month to month. Certainly, you're going to get your monthly paycheck, okay? So that's usually a pretty good baseline. Or, maybe not monthly, I'm sorry. Because a lot of times it'll be bi weekly or weekly. But basically, what I meant to say is you're going to get, the amount of money you're going to get each month. And that's going to be, pretty much the same. But, sometimes there's going to be unexpected expenses. And of course, once you get to that point, you're like, oh, well, this is why I didn't stack this much this month. But when you're setting that whole goal, this amount each month, when in reality, you could be doing something like, let's say you want to do 100 ounces a month, okay? Let's say you're making enough money where you can do that normally. But you have an unexpected expense come up one month and you actually don't manage to get any silver that month. Well, you see, if you had flexible spending, then you probably could have made up for that 100-ounce loss that month over the previous month. Like, let's say you'd been stacking for 7 months and just doing 100 ounces a month. But chances are, along the way, you did find a little bit more money, or you simply were able to get some silver cheap enough where you could have afforded to pick up another 10 ounces maybe one month or another. And maybe you could have made up for that amount lost. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to see that by flexibly, budgeting, I mean, 90 ounces one month and 110 ounces the next month is the same as 100 ounces a month, except it follows your particular budget. That's why try to say don't set these rigid goals for yourself, because the income is going to vary from month to month. And, well, maybe not income per se, but expenses are going to vary. And sometimes you will stumble into a little bit more money. Maybe, you get really lucky and win a couple $100 on a scratch off. Or at a casino, you win a lot of money. Or, and there's a better chance of something like this happening, you get, some kind of unexpected money from, like, family, if someone passed away, which, of course, that's going to be a very hard thing to settle, and, that's a whole other thing in of itself, but, things like that you don't expect sometimes, a surplus is something to try to capitalize on, because you could very well be getting more silver and protecting yourself in the future, and you could still be meeting your goal, except doing it flexibly. So, that's just basically what I want to address in this video, is that the whole idea of silver stacking just being linear and having these rigid goals set in motion, when in truth it is not linear in the slightest. It should be very, very flexible. Each month you should be probably getting a different amount from the previous month. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's good to have goals and it's good to know what you want from your stack, but just try to, kind of just really just try to put away as much in metals as you can, and get the most diversified investment stack that you possibly can, because it's all you can really ask for. Other than that, I do hope you enjoyed the video. That is it for this one. Peace, love, and much respect.